Hot off the heels of Finovate Asia, Arival Bank just won Best in Show, which is a huge milestone considering this is one of their first competitions. And what makes them so unique is that they are a completely digital bank. And thanks to the FinTech effect, they're succeeding in this space. So I caught up with their experts to learn more. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us. I'm super excited.
Absolutely. So Arival Bank's origin is pretty unique. Tell me a little bit about it, who Arival Bank is, and what the ecosystem should know about you.
Yeah, so I think our story started about a year ago when our FinTech venture capital fund started to get approached by hundreds of different businesses, all coming to us with the same problem. Basically, banks were disconnecting them from the system and really not giving them the different products and services they need. And really, we understood that this problem is universal, whether businesses like startups, freelancers, or even crypto-related businesses are facing this issue of not getting the qualitative products they deserve. And really, we built Arival Bank as a digital fintech bank for SMEs, but we're powered by open API banking, meaning we partner with some of the best fintechs on the market and integrate their products and services into our platform. So we're on a mission to not only make banking easier for these kinds of businesses, but give them the products and different tools they need to thrive on a day-to-day level. To answer your second question, I think what makes us unique is basically how diverse our team is, right? We all come from different backgrounds, whether we're more experienced or seasoned investors or younger entrepreneurs like myself, and what unites us really is this passion for fintech. We've been in the market, in the industry for over 5 years now, so we really understand what it takes to build a great fintech, what it takes to build a bank. So yeah, I'm super excited to see where this journey takes us.
So that's quite the origin story, but how did you get into fintech?
That's a great question. So we came to Singapore about 4 or 5 years ago, originally from Moscow, and we created one of the first fintech-only VC funds in Southeast Asia. And we came at a unique time when fintech was very much in its infancy, really in Singapore. So we contributed to the ecosystem not only locally, but also on a regional perspective within Southeast Asia. And we've invested in numerous different companies, I think almost 30 of them, and obviously exclusively focusing on fintech. But our background in banking, we've invested in several notable digital banks, whether it's Fedor, Simple Bank from the States, Movin Bank, and Rocket Bank as well. So we have this strong connection and network within the digital banking community. And aside from that, we publish many different reports, Money of the Future. It's read, I think, by over 50,000 people month over month. And we've managed accelerators. So we're definitely passionate about fintech, and that's kind of what brought us to Arival initially.
So tell me a little bit about this fintech fund.
Yeah, so we created Life Shrita about 6 years ago. And initially, it was a fund focusing on seed or Series A. And then when we came to Singapore, we moved it to more focusing on a niche, late stage A, early stage B fintech companies. So we've invested, as I mentioned, to almost 30 companies already. And we really started to focus on several new niches within fintech. So digital banking is one, blockchain obviously as it's evolving and whatnot. And really, we're trying to get into compliance and digital identity right now. So those are the three aspects we're looking into fintech as a fund right now.
And talk to me a little bit about this concept of going from book to bank.
Yeah, we get that question a lot. So actually our CEO, Slava Salatki, he's a pretty well-known fintech investor within Southeast Asia and on a global level as well. As I mentioned, our VC fund, Life Street, is really respected for the different analytics and reports that we continuously publish on an annual level. So he started getting into this concept of open API banking, fintech banking effectively. And he wrote this book at the end of 2016, and it received a lot of positive attention, all over the world really, because it introduced this new concept of how banks and fintechs can work together and why it's necessary. So it came at a time right before Kleiner Perkins published their annual report of the hottest fintech trends, and actually at the top of the list was fintech banking. So they kind of came hand in hand, the book and this report. So that's maybe one of the primary reasons as why fintech banking is at the top of everyone's list right now.
And you're obviously a completely digital bank, which is amazing in of itself. But you mentioned this concept of fintech banking. What exactly is that, and who are you serving?
So I think the biggest thing we have to understand with fintech banking is that it enables product accessibility. So right now, businesses or even retail customers are forced to kind of navigate the ecosystem themselves in terms of finding banks or fintechs or vendors that they want to work with. And I'm sure you can imagine how chaotic this experience is, trying to find the best products or services yourselves, creating all these accounts with different vendors or banks, and downloading, let's say, 20 to 30 different apps. It's not very optimal. As I said, it's super chaotic actually. So I think we're trying to solve this problem where what if all your favorite fintechs, all your favorite products and services existed in your bank, in one bank, where you can access everything in one interface, where logins are unified. So you only need to connect your banking account once. You only have to have one account, one login effectively. And I think the biggest thing we also have to understand with fintech banking is that data is now aggregated. So the movement of money is transparent. So that's effectively what fintech banking is trying to solve, is that really disruptive customer experience that businesses are trying to find themselves in right now.
Well, I'd love to see how it all works.
Sure, let's give you guys a little inside look.
All right, Shannon, so what we're jumping into right now is our dashboard, and we think it's one of the most powerful elements of our banking interface. It gives the businesses enough information and data they need to really make intelligent financial decisions, whether it's their account overview, recent transactions, or even their P&L statement or revenue by channels. But another cool thing about this dashboard is really how user-friendly and intuitive it is, whether you want to customize it and turn it from the day version to the night version, or if you want to use a shortcut button to access some of your favorite products like creating an invoice or even a quick transfer. And of course, we have customer service at your fingertips because we really encourage transparent communication at any time. But really what I want you to look at closely is this FinTech app button. We think it's going to be a game changer, really for one reason. We've identified about 10 verticals within FinTech that are designed for SMEs. So we're trying to create a full suite of products and services really tailored for SMEs so we can help them thrive and operate on a day-to-day basis. And obviously our business model is that we integrate some of the best third-party fintechs on the market and deliver their products and services to our businesses as customers.
Well, it certainly sounds like you're solving for that really critical pain point of the customer experience and creating a frictionless experience,
Yep,
which we're
sure.
ultimately all clamoring for as consumers, right?
Absolutely.
But on a high level, what drivers are you seeing when it comes to digital banking?
So I think there's really three that come to mind. So the first is actually the entry point of any banking or fintech experience, right? So the KYC onboarding. So I think the future of it is really evolving right now. It's becoming a revolution, not so much an evolution, which is really important to dissect. So really, how fast can businesses or banks onboard their customers? That's really what we're looking at as the first driver. The second driver is actually open API banking. So how can fintechs and banks really collaborate on a high level? And what are the certain characteristics you look for in a fintech that really makes this process optimal? The last point is actually customer experience, so customer support. When you look at different companies like Zappos, they've kind of reinvented the way they interact with their customers, where even if it's customer support or actual different products and incentives that they try to loop in to make sure that their customers are there from a longevity perspective. So those are really the three things: the customer onboarding, the open APIs, and the customer support and experience.
So you mentioned customer support. How do you see this evolving?
So I think we were really inspired by Zappos. So Zappos is a .com company from the early 2000s, late 90s, and they were bought out by Amazon for over $1 billion. But the book Delivering Happiness by Tony Hsieh, the CEO of Zappos, he really breaks down why customer support needs to change and how it can really impact a company on a longevity perspective. So if you look at Zappos and what they do, they make sure all their employees go through some sort of customer support experience, whether they're C-level, mid-managers, even entry-level positions, and they're never scripted. So they have this really authentic, natural experience or connection with their customers. I think they even set the record for having the longest customer service phone call for almost 11 hours with one of their customers. So, if you look at Zappos and a lot of different companies, they're reinventing corporate culture and how they talk to their customers. So everybody's talking about chatbots right now. We want to make sure that we kind of stay away from that trend and have this real experience with our customers so they feel connected with us, they understand us, and we understand them as well as a business. So we're putting a lot of focus, a lot of resources into developing some sort of robust customer support channel for our businesses and potential clients.
Well, there's something certainly to be said for that human touch and kind of that hybrid
Absolutely,
model of having that
absolutely.
blend of technology
Absolutely.
and there's something to be said again to being able to call a human instead of
Yeah,
typing in something to a chatbot.
Absolutely, Shannon. The personalized experience is really a driver of banking. So I think if we can make sure it's impacted with our customers, we'll make it happen.
But about the roadmap for Arival and where you are right now and where you're headed.
Yeah, so I think we've been super busy this year. We've made a lot of big milestones, and we're continuously adding more to our kind of agenda or itinerary, as you will. So what we've done this year, I think you can kind of break it down. So we applied for a license in the U.S. We've partnered with a core banking system, which is very vital and crucial for any kind of bank, having that back end in place. So we partnered with a company by the name of mBank from San Fran area. In addition to that, we've been focusing really on our onboarding and KYC processes and procedures, making sure they're ready and developed enough to kind of begin onboarding our customers, getting closer to our launch. In addition to that, we're looking for a lot of fintechs right now, handpicking them. We're being very selective, so they fill the different verticals and different product niches that we're offering on our platform. So if you're a fintech out there and you think your product or service should be on our platform, let's chat. We're also connecting with different investors, as we're passively opening a new round to raise some money for our Series A. In addition to that, we're always connecting with different banks, right? If they want to help us expand into their market or some sort of sub-licensing play. Actually, right now we're in the early stages of applying for a license in the EU and the European Union as well. So we have a lot of exciting things coming at us, and we're trying to stay busy at the same time, traveling, as much as we can, and at the same time focusing on, on the core business. So it's been a lot of fun.
Well, you're clearly doing something right, considering you just won Best in Show at Finovate, so congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. It was a very great experience. We had a lot of fun, and we hope to be back again next year.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck to you. Jeremy, thank you so much for your insights.
Thanks for having us. It was a lot of fun.
Digital banking is clearly a global movement, with Arival Bank leading the way. From Medici Studio, I'm Shannon Rossick.